Camping. Don't you just love the outdoors? Don't you just love it? The outdoors and, horrible mosquitoes that nobody likes. Nobody likes mosquitoes. And also, I guess, telling some spooky stories. That's right, we're going to be talking about a show I have not reviewed yet. It's called All Grown Up. This is a spin-off of the Rugrats. Would it be a spin-off or a reincarnation or whatever? Because technically it still includes the same characters, but now they're older and all that. They're like preteens and all that. Well, some of them are teenagers. I don't know. Regardless, though, I really wanted to talk about this episode particularly because I have lots to say about this one, and out of all the episodes of the show, I will eventually review the actual show too. I was actually going to review it, but I'm like, I probably should watch the original show first and then review this one, because I think that way I could point some stuff out about both of the shows, when I do my review. But out of all the episodes, this one really struck me out of all of them. So we're gonna talk about that. This is one of the Halloween themed episodes. Even though it took place in June, it definitely has a Halloween spooky-ish theme to it. And I'm gonna tell you why. But before I do, like I said, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. I'm actually over. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say I thought the remote was, or the episode was gonna play because it changed screens for some reason. No, I did not. It's been doing that a lot lately on the Roku TVs. I'm not sure why, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I was gonna say though, before I got distracted there, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. I'm actually at 600 subs now. I finally made my mark there. I am hoping to get to 1K subs though in the future, because that's when I can start, making advertisements for my videos and all that, But I do appreciate you guys supporting my channel, and I do have actually a reward video planned. I just haven't figured out what I'm gonna do yet for 600 subs, but I will do a super reward video when we get to 1K subs. So with that, let's go ahead and actually get into this. Let's go ahead and actually get in and talk about this. Oh, wait, before I do, also, you guys can follow me on Instagram/Threads, and also, you guys can follow me on X, too. Okay, now we can get into this. So, what we start out here, apparently, they're doing some sort of parody. I don't know what this is. I've seen a few shows do this. Even Scooby-Doo actually did this on one of their Cartoon Network bumpers. But, they're parodying, some sort of horror movie. I don't know if it's Scream or not, but, it's some random person that talks on the phone and all that. But, Tommy's trying to make a film, So, he's trying to do all that. Maybe Tommy should just be a YouTuber, honestly. He could be a YouTuber like me, Especially back in the day, because YouTube was, and other platforms were a lot better back then when it comes to making content. Now it's kind of more limited, but, maybe he should become a YouTuber or something, I could totally see Tommy, making YouTube videos. I could totally see him doing that. But yeah, I don't know. But he's trying to make some sort of horror movie and or do something, and he's not really doing very well. Apparently, they're all going to camp for about a couple weeks. So it's really nice seeing the adults and the kids kind of interacting a bit. That's something that I will say the original show definitely does not do, because maybe Angelica and maybe Susie, but like Phil and Lil and or Phil and Lil, yeah, or I think that's how you pronounce their names. But Phil and Lil and Chucky and Tommy and all of them, like they and even Dill, they couldn't really communicate with the parents because they were too young. So they kind of had their own side thing they did in the original show. Here they're actually, they're actually communicating with them. But they go to this camp, and apparently this camp, I guess, is haunted. Or supposedly it is. There's apparently a weird old witch who sounds like she's been off her medication or something, because she is freaking crazy. I like her, though. I do like her. She's pretty funny. But she's talking about a zombie moon or something, and apparently some villagers got lost and all that, and apparently one of the camp kids there, Chucky's sister and Phil, not Phil, I mean Lil, like Lily, like, and all that, they actually like. I'm surprised the others don't have a crush on, like Susie and Angelica don't have a crush on them too. I'm like, they wouldn't be much younger, they'd be like only a couple years younger. Because I don't understand that on TV, like on comments, to see people commenting like, these people are too younger. I'm like, they're only a couple years apart. It's not like it's not like a 20-year-old dating a 12-year-old, which that would be just weird, but this is actually only a couple years apart, just like, I don't know why they don't do that, because I could totally see Angelica or Susie having a thing for him maybe too, I don't know. But what happens is, apparently he talks about this zombie moon. Apparently these villagers go missing. Apparently there was a carriage, and I guess they decided to wait there instead of getting shelter for them to return. So maybe that way they could find them. Which I'm just like, that's just so stupid. I'm like, you guys just froze yourselves to death, trying to do all that, but, apparently, I guess they decided to wait in the freaking cold for them to return, and, they never returned. The horse returned, but they were sadly gone. They never returned, and, that's why apparently it's haunted. But yeah, we get some glimpses of some stuff throughout the entire episode, like the room being apparently cold, like, because it may seem like just a story at first, but then it starts building more and more up to the story, and they start getting into the fact that it's actually cold in their rooms, and apparently not just that it's cold, but also apparently Tommy woke up at one night trying to get and heard there was apparently a horse out there with nobody there, kind of like in the story. So you can kind of see where it's all kind of going and all that. And apparently they're also trying to get into a play. Well, there's also a play going on they don't want to be part of. So they use this opportunity as an excuse just to get out of the play. And I like, again, how the adults, again, are involved with it, too. They're like, they don't want to be part of the stupid play, either. I would have been just like, I would have just told him, like, no. I would have told this guy, like, no, I'm not going to be part of this play. I wouldn't even, I don't know. It just seems kind of weird, but yeah, apparently they're, because Tommy wants to actually find some footage for his camera, because of his movie stuff, so he goes out doing all that, and apparently they end up finding some weird crap, and there's also a journal. There's a journal that's in a tree for some reason. Surprisingly, this tree's still there, because apparently they disappeared in like the 1800s. But I guess trees can survive a long time. I guess nobody cut it down, but apparently the journal just ends and nothing, happens after that. It actually kind of reminds me of, this actually was a thing, I heard about, too. I'm gonna talk a little bit about this. This is something that was in real life. This was something to do with a lighthouse or something, but something similar, like, people were writing in the book, and then they were right in the middle of writing, and then it just stops, and I don't remember where it was at, like, it was some sort of lighthouse, and this was like in the early 1900s when that happened, I believe. I just don't remember what that was. That's kind of what this is too. It's very creepy, especially when it happens in real life too. But yeah, apparently they disappear and all that, and apparently they end up stumbling across a rock, and then there's they fall into like a pit somewhere, and apparently in the pit it reveals that apparently there is some weird shit going on, because apparently the boy apparently, which I forgot his name, but he apparently, his eyes start glowing red, like he's actually a ghost, which is very crazy, which, by the way, he doesn't speak a lot in the episode. He's kind of just there, like he tells the story and all that, but he's kind of just there, and apparently, it was real, because there are actual photos. There's actual photos of, but there are actual, there's an actual photo with him in it. So apparently, this entire time, this whole thing was real. Which, it's real. So apparently he was a real ghost. And, he actually even appears at the end of the episode, too, in Tommy's camera. It looks like it's a parody of something else, too, because it looks kind of like a parody, like it shows a bunch of weird-looking images. But they keep saying throughout the entire episode they got no brainer or nothing. Which I guess is kind of the whole thing about them forgetting or getting lost or something, but no, apparently, no, they never really forgot any of it, so they know who he was, but that's freaking crazy, though, and, what's even crazier is these freaking villagers, so they were waiting there for them to come back, then the thing was gone, and I guess they decided, you know what, let's hell with it, let's go in our secret hideout or underground where it's warmer and play some cards, and apparently that's where they died. They played some fucking cards and died. Well, I gotta say though, that's a way to go out, I guess. To play some game of goldfish or something, even though when you know you're gonna die, you might as well, just, I guess, and play some cards or something, which is what the others were doing too. So, I guess if Tommy and his friends never found Hugh and Angelica's mom and all that, and I'm pretty sure they probably would have been, like Angelica's mom, and then there's also Phil and Lil's dad. I'm pretty sure they probably would have been, goners. They probably would have been goners. And they probably would have just sat there playing cards until they, perished. But that is definitely crazy. That is crazy, and all that, like I said, this special is just crazy. And I want to clarify, this one's like 44 minutes long. This is a long special. But out of all these episodes in this show, this one definitely stuck out to me the most because of how disturbing it can be. But that's the thing, though. It's disturbing, but it's not, like, super disturbing. It definitely has that magic school bus, vibe with the whole. Apparently, it reveals that the ghost thing was real at the end. Because sometimes they'll throw a curveball and it was not real, it was fake. But apparently, which I forgot to actually put that in the comments too, on that episode, because I actually looked up the whole ghost thing in the end of that episode. But that's kind of how this one was too, in a similar way. but yeah, it turns out all this was real and all that, and it's a really interesting episode though, for sure. Definitely takes place in in a camp and all, so it's not really like Halloween themed. Was there a Halloween themed episode? I can't remember. Or no, wait, there was. Yeah, there was one. They didn't really focus a lot on Halloween. They focused more on them just not getting along. So, because I guess Chucky was upset or something, but this one definitely, out of all, I think definitely deserved to be reviewed. I might review the other ones maybe a different time, because even the Halloween one, but I don't know if I'll review it on Halloween, but it depends on if I have anything to say about it or not, but yeah, I wanted to review this episode because this one definitely struck me as just kind of very strange. But I will say this episode, in my opinion, definitely deserves a good. Yeah, it deserves a good. Very creepy, but also entertaining. And also, of course, we gotta give it a score. So from 0 to 120, I'm gonna be giving this one a 120 points. Yep, 120 points. Like how is that right? How is this creepy episode here 120 points? It must be a really good episode. I have to say, I really do like it a lot. It's definitely one of those episodes I do really like, and I like to go back to every so often and review it. The reason why it's getting 120 points though, and not 100. I forgot to, I forgot to put it over there. Whoops. I was gonna say the reason why this one's getting 120 and not 100, while the Magic School Bus got that, is because this one's more for older audiences. So I feel like putting creepier stuff in there, I don't feel like I don't think it really changes anything. And all that, and they do a very good job with the horror aspect, And I'm not really the biggest fan of horror movies, because a lot of times they end up feeling very predictable, or you start questioning, their decisions. Here, they don't do any of that. They're just trying to find something and all that. And yeah, I guess people have disappeared, and they do say to stay away, which is something a lot of horror movies do too, but I just don't think it's as creepy either, and I like that, it's creepy, but not too over the top creepy. But that's pretty much it there. There's not really much else I could say for this episode. But this is another one I wanted to review for Halloween. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I have to review for there. So I'll see you guys later for another review. Anywho, this is Dash All Rose, out.